So this is Baruch Fleischman, and we'll just show you here what this book looks like. It's the Sefer Kavanos. It's in white. I think the new one is in red, but I'm working on this one right now, and I'm considering what to do about the new one. Maybe more complete. I really don't have it. But at any rate, there's lots of great stuff here. So this is something he says, Shinui Tefilus is what we're learning. Today, we're going to see the words of the Rav himself. That is, these are words of the Ari. We're going to start with that. And we'll just read the words of the Ari. And then after that, we'll get a flavor for what it is that he's going to. This is a thing called Shinui Tefillos. So there are differences in prayers. So here comes the Rav. We're going to read just across the top. So he said, Va'inyan Bekitzerhu. So if you want a short version of what we're talking about, the Fisha Tachlos Mitzvahs of the Filahi. So what is the purpose of praying? The Varer Habirurim Shalchasheva Malachi Adam Shemesa. So we understand that in the beginning of the reality that we know here, there was a break in the flow of light. And this is called by the name of the seven Malachim, the seven Malachim of Edom. Edom is, of course, a country, but it refers to Asa, but actually it's also here a color. It's red. Red means blood, breaking and death. And they died. V'kol yom v'yom, and every single day this birur process is going on. And not only that, but every day, ubekol tefillah, in every single tefillah, the birur process is going on. He says, mizbar them, biruri nutzutzos chadashos, new sparks of kedusha are pulled out that are new, that have never been brought up out of the klipa before, shalom nizbar them ma'olam hesahi, and that have never been refined, pulled out of there until this moment. The v'kol tefillah, so in every single time we go to daven, mizbar nitzutzas shadayim lo olo b'shum zaman. So therefore, we're doing a refining process. It's a mining process to pull the nitzutzas of kedusha out of the kali. Shadayim lo olo b'shum zaman, that never came up before. V'hinei v'fi erech hanitzutza. So according to the arrangement of these different sparks of kedusha, the hamizbaros that are mined out, the olos mimata lamala, they come out from the klipa going upwards. B'kol tefillah, this happens in every single tefillah, as we said. Kach kvi erech achu. So according to this general relationship, who Eric Zivug Elyon. So what's going on down below in our prayers has what to do with the uniting, which is the zivug of up above in the world of Itzilus. That is where the flow begins, because this is what we want to effect, is to bring bracha and the presence of Hashem into our world. So also we're talking here, let me see if I got this right. Let me read it again. Kach kafi Eric hahu Eric zivuk elyon. So this leads to an upper yichud. And also the acceptance of the mochim to be able to come down into the world, and their extension down into the world. Hamshachasa. That this, now you understand, is the tremendous obligation that has been put upon us. Lehispala b'kol yom, to pray every single day. Why prayer is so important. Uv'kol shah, every single mola, the fisha b'kol tefillah, because every single tefillah, na'asim b'chinas b'chudashos, and new aspects are mined out of this, brought out. Ma'ashalo na'asim b'shum tefillah cheves zuloso, that had not happened, were not available, could not be redeemed in any other tefillah besides this one. V'gam ki al derech zeh, so also, according to this same pattern, hu inyan mitzvos ha-kriya shema, we find this in the kriya shema. What if we say the kriya shema 2 or 3 times a day? It's supposed to be 3 times a day. Shenitzta v'inach l'krosach b'boker b'erev, that we have actually a mitzvah in the Torah to read it morning and night. B'kol yom tamid, and every single day, perpetually, forever. The Fisha b'kol Kriya Shema, because every time that we see the Kriya Shema, we say the Kriya Shema, Na'aseh davar b'chudesh l'mala, it makes a change, something new in the upper worlds. Mashalo na'asakach b'Kriya Shema acheres, which does not happen in any other Kriya Shema. Zulasa me'olam. That never happens in any other Kriya Shema. In other words, the Kriya Shema of today is going to be much more powerful than any other Kriya Shema. Let me get that out of there. Now let's go back. We're going to go back a little bit, and we're going to start reading the Tiv Kavanos, because we have the basic idea is that the Nitzutzos are constantly revolving, and they're becoming, rotating, as we go from day to night and day to night, and that's a rotation process, just as like the Earth is turning. So just like you're doing this every single moment, every single day, but particularly in those 3 tefillos that we have to do, and now he's focusing just at the end here on the Kriya Shema, which we say twice a day, morning and night, is that it actually has effect in that rotation because every single movement is new. Now let's see what the Tiv has. We'll learn a little bit of the Tiv and try to bring it out. And here in the Tiv, I'm going to read only the light print. It says, Inyan Shviras HaKelim Nizbar B'Charucho Ba'otzos Chaim. So this has brought out the whole concept here in the Otzos Chaim, which is the language of the Uri himself. V'gam Seder HaTikun B'Vura B'Shem B'Charucho. Also the order of how the world is rebuilt so that the lights can flow down to us. That's also in detail over there in the Otzos Chaim. V'Hanageo L'Inyanenu. So now what's really pertinent to what we're doing? Shetikun Hashvira Shal Sheva Malachim, where we talk here about the breaking of the 7 Malachim, which was supposed to be the Zat, that is the Chesed Gevurah Tiferes Netzach Hod and Malchus, which was supposed to be able to hold the light of the Ein Sof Baruch Hu and build from there, but they broke instead. Shal Yedei Mushbo Kol the Shefa Ba'olam. So into that, all of the shefa that was in the world was flowed out. A dayim lo nishlam laganri, but it flowed out, but it's not completed. Sharak holoke b'mena nisaknu, because only a certain amount of that light that was flowing down into these 7 kings, he's called these 7 kings of Edom, who all died as a result of their dinim. Holoke b'mena, so only portions of the kedusha of them remained. But the rest of it, it's up to us. In other words, after the Shvira, there was still some Kedusha around. But the rest of it is gone. It's up to us to rebuild it and to bring it back into Kedusha. That's what he's saying. And this is the reason why all the mitzvahs are given to us. So particularly, he wants to talk about the mitzvah of prayer. That the ultimate reason for prayer, why are we engaging in this prayer, is in order to bring Kedusha out of Klipa. That's what he calls the Varer Birurim, to refine those elements that can be refined. The Sakim, all those Nitzutzah Kedusha, and then he spells it out, to rebuild, to elevate the sparks of Kedusha. So he said, so the order of the tikkun is like this: Yom Alafim Shana, every single day of the 6,000-year cycle in which we find ourselves. Sha'olam Kaim, that is as long as this world is going to continue as it is. Nesaken Chelek Echad B'Seder Hasviro. So we understand that there is a particular aspect of a particular, let me get his words right. He says, Nesaken Chelek Echad, one portion is of the lost, the Nitzutzos, or Mesukan, and put in their proper order, one of them each day. Echad Keseder Hasfiros, which is, we understand that Sunday is Chesed, and going like this. Ala Yachad Im Kol Tikunim, and on that day, this Midah comes up together with all of the Tikunim Shena'asa B'Yom and Akodim that were made from days way back. The V'kol Yom V'Yom, but V'kol Tefillah. So every single day, every single time you go to pray. He said, Mizbarnadim Berurim Nitzutzah Chadashos. You see, this mining process is for new elements. Shalom Nizbarnadol Ba'olam were never pulled out of Kedusha, out of Klipa before Ba'olam. Ad Ha'ezahi, until that particular moment when you come to pray. The V'kol Tefillah, every single prayer. Now you're coming up and bringing up nitzutzos that never came up before. So let's finish up right now, and let's see what he says here. So now he says it. So now, according to the extension of the 6,000 years, we call Yom V'Yom, and every single day, Yesh Birurim Chadashim. There were different kedusha, amounts of kedusha, sparks of kedusha that refined out Lagamri completely. Shemizbarnanim al Yadei Tefillah Seina B'Yom Hazeh, because they are refined out according to our prayers on that particular day. V'yesh netzutzim chadashim she'olim ba'osach hayom. There's new kedusha, new netzutzim. They come out that particular day. Vein dona shavua lechaveru. 1 week, the netzutzim of this week. This week we're in the parsha of Vayegash. So the netzutzim that come from this week will be different than the parts of the next week. Because Shavua yesh sheva yamin. So even though we understand there's a chesed gevurah teferes netzachot yisod malchus of every single week, mischalkim laosam sheva midos. So we see that divided up into what I just said, the Chagat Nahim. So we come and see that the tikkun has to do with that particular midah usvira shehoyu kavar harbe pamim b'shvuas harbe. That's that we're working, say, on the let's say the first day we're working on the midah of chesed, making a tikkun over there. The next week, with the first day, we're going to do the same thing. As you go back and forth between the days, it's always repetitive. B'kol Malkam, but in any case, B'kol Yom, every day, Yesh Birurim Chadashim Dagamri, they're completely and totally new Birurim. Shemizbarnanim al Yadei Tefillah Seina, that are refined out because of our prayers. B'Yom Hazel, on this particular day. V'chein B'kol Tefillah, so therefore every single prayer b'fnei atzma by itself. Yesh Birurim Chadashim, there are new Birurim in the prayer itself. Shelo hoya adko ubakal tefillah, that had not appeared before that. Ubakal tefillah naasa tikunim ladashim. So therefore we see that in every single tefillah there are new tikunim. Tikunim means pathways, so that the light can come down to us. Mashlimim livenois, so that it can make a completion, to build the lasakein, and to actually build the channels that are able to mismaya, to limit the light sufficiently. In order to be able to build that structure that allows the flow on that particular day. This is Baruch Fleischman at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and this, we are learning the Rav.